made some proposition about the modification of the Constitution. So it's not going to be long. As soon as you stay focused and you keep it right. We are connected. Hello, everybody, worldwide. And Natalie, the floor is yours, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay, so before we begin, this is not a discussion session. This is a presentation session. So if you have questions on the wording or the reason behind proposing it, it's okay to ask that. But after all the presentation, you're going to discuss per region about all of these, so we're not having one big group asking a lot of questions because it can get a little bit messy. So before we begin, I had a proposal that's not on the slides, and there was quite a few grammatical proposals and things that were already changed at the last WOCO, but they were missed in the editing for this past year. So it is a proposal by me to not present these amendments and to let CB make necessary changes that were missed last year. And so this is actually a vote. All in favor of what I just proposed of not presenting those grammatical errors and miss edits.
We might have a flag set. Germany?
Please, take a line.
Hey.
Any questions about why it was proposed? Does everyone have their flag? Yes? Okay. So voting in favor of what of me as CB not presenting grammatical or editing mistakes from last year's WOCO. Okay, so that will pass. So I will not. So some countries present, I know, proposed those amendments, but they will not be presented. So we're gonna. How this is gonna work is it's just gonna be like in order of the Constitution and then bylaws. And so you'll be allowed to ask technical questions about the wording or something or why it was proposed, but not discussion. Remember. And so the Constitution itself is the fundamental principles, so it's a little bit shorter than the bylaws, and it's just the main purpose, structure, and limits of it. And of course, it's the backbone of how we operate. And then they had to be presented. It was 2 weeks prior to the General Assembly. And when we actually do our voting, it requires a 2/3 majority. So this is the First Amendment in Chapter 1 for the association. This was proposed by IAAS Portugal, and in the red is where it was changed. Yeah. Are there any questions? I don't see anything. I don't see the change. So are there any technical questions on this, guys? Hey guys, we're not having individual discussions right now. Are there any questions technically or about why it was proposed? No?
The question was the technical.
Yeah. So basically, the wording of the word, the placement of the word students was changed. But that's the gist of it for now. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna read it. So the former text. Hey guys. Be energized, but towards me and towards this. Okay, so former text was, the name of the association shall be International Association of Students in Agricultural and Related Sciences, IAAS. The association is run according to the articles of the 3rd chapter of the June 27th, 1921 Belgian law concerning nonprofit making associations, foundations, and nonprofit making international associations. The proposed text is, the name of the association shall be International Association of Agricultural Students and Related Sciences. That's for the changes. IAAS, the association is run according to the articles of the 3rd chapter of the June 27th, 1921 Belgian law concerning nonprofit making associations, foundations, and nonprofit making international associations.
Here? Yes, no?
Okay, so move on to the next one. So proposal 2, the former text was, hey guys, the official language of the association is Dutch, English is the working main language, French and Spanish are the second working languages. The proposed text was to change the official language to English, and English is the main working language, French and Spanish are the second working languages, presented by IAAS Portugal. And I would like to make a comment that this is a technicality, and we're that IAAS World headquarters are in KU Leuven in Belgium, and so we're registered at the courts and banks there. And so for technical reasons, it has to be in Dutch. Are there any discussions? Okay.
Just for the discussion, write down what you want to talk just after, so you can have all your questions.
Yes. Okay, so Amendment 3, it's a little long. So I won't read the former text, but I'll read the proposed text, and you can see what was changed in the red. So the proposed text is, there's only one national delegation per country at the General Assembly, irrespective of the number of committees in each country. And what's changed is each person present has the right for one vote. Only the national delegations present at the time of voting may vote. Member countries not physically present at the General Assembly cannot vote. And another change, full members that are not represented cannot vote. Are there any questions on that? Is it clear? Alrighty. So we're gonna make it, yeah. So when I say, I'm gonna ask at the end of each of this, so to make it go a little bit smoother, is it clear? Everyone just go like this, or like that if it's not.
I think maybe really want your friend to discuss this or not, so that's what they discuss in the other ones, we just put the vote.
Okay. Does that make sense? So instead I'm gonna say, is this wanting to be discussed? So if it's not clear, that's gonna be something you're gonna wanna discuss. So I'll ask if you wanna discuss it, yes,
And if one person says we want to discuss it, we will discuss it in the Did you want to discuss that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Amendment 4 has to do with the membership of organizations. And so for the proposed text, it's associations or organizations of students in agricultural and related sciences, or a group of young people that does not belong to any of the two groups mentioned above that exist in their country. Students who have an affinity to their values, mission, and vision of IAAS, regardless of their study career, may be official members. Official members can be people who, despite not studying, have an affinity to the values, mission, and vision of IAAS and to wish to help them grow, their growth. That was my IAAS Ecuador. So this one is more about having more people involved and not having it so technical of who can be a member. Are there any technical questions? Would you like to discuss this? Yay, nay? Yes? Okay, so this will be discussed. So on this one, apologies for not having it in red. There it is. So this was by Jonathan over there. So the proposed text is the executive board shall make sure that the application form is accessible to the interested associations and organizations. The application for membership shall be submitted by the president of the applying association or organization to the executive board and control board. The application shall be considered at the first coming General Assembly. Applications shall be submitted to the executive board and control board before the beginning of the General Assembly. The applicant must have been a candidate member for at least 3 months before the becoming of the General Assembly, or must have been a full member with frozen or renewal status. And for the renewal status, we'll have some amendments later that are discussing the renewal status. Would you like to discuss this? Yes or no? So Jonathan, would you, since it's not a little bit later, would you like to discuss very, very quickly what the renewal status is?
Whoa, shit!
It's fine. I'm just saying that. Hello.
Jonathan, throw it to me. There is not more batteries.
Yes, so in short, we noticed that some countries could be at the risk being frozen and stuff like that, and that it's not really encouraging and stuff. And so the idea of the renewal status is to really to know that the countries are a bit in trouble and are really renewing old committee and need some extra attention, but are still for members, still do not have to go back to candidate and are not frozen either. Because this kind of thing, sometimes the committee can be in some tricky situation, and this kind of status will be helping them. They will be given extra attention from regional boards, executive board, and they will of course lose some rights, but not complete, not like the frozen status, and they will also be able to do stuff still. So it's some next year.
Are there any questions on that before we move on? So if it's okay, we will lump so going through renewal status for all discussions, we'll just put it in with the other renewal slides, so I don't have to ask if there's discussion, because it's not till later on where renewal status is actually presented. Was that clear? Okay. Okay, so this is also for the membership. So the proposed text is the application shall be considered at the first coming General Assembly. Application shall be submitted to the Executive Board and Control Board before the beginning of the General Assembly. The applicant must have been presented as a candidate member during one WOCO before applying for full membership the following WOCO, or must have been full member with frozen status. And the proposal behind, or the reason behind this, is that we've seen that there's new candidate members, and during the same GAs, we're presenting them as candidate members, and then they're being voted in as full members and so they don't really have that time to develop as a committee. They're just going right in, and so it's kind of also confusing when you're doing the voting. They were just approved as candidates, and then they were also just made full members. Okay, would you like to discuss this? Yes, no? Maybe? Yes. Okay, we'll discuss it then. Okay, so this is also part of the membership one. The Executive Board shall make the application form, shall make sure the application form is accessible to associations and organizations. Applications shall be submitted to the Executive Board and Control Board before the beginning of the General Assembly. Applications for candidate member can be approved by the Executive Board at any time.
Okay, so the reason I proposed this, because last year it was decided that the Executive Board can accept candidate members at any time, and it's in the bylaws, but it's not in the Constitution, so they are right now not on the same page. So this is just kind of completing the Constitution with what is said in the bylaws. So, yeah.
Any questions on that? Discussion? Raise your fingers. No? Okay. That will not be discussed. Amendment 8. There's a little bit, so this is where what Jonathan was talking about. And I'll just read it for clarity. Article 2.5, renewal status. A full member with renewal status loses following rights. Individuals cannot be elected for any position in the association on international level. A full member can be given renewal status because of the following reasons. 1, the National Committee has been totally renewed without continuity with the previous National Committee. In this case, no handover has been made possible, and the new National Committee needs extra attention from the Executive Board / Regional Board. Number 2, there is no National Director and/or no Exchange Coordinator. Feels funny now, look at this. And then renewal status can only have the duration of 1 year. After 1 year, the country needs either to lose their renewal status or become a normal full member again, or lose its frozen status with the following consequences. Reasons to regain the normal full membership status are usually the fulfillment of the points at Article 4.7.2, Article 4.3 of the Bylaws. The Executive Board grants renewal status according to the Article 2.5.2. The renewal status of a full member shall be considered at the first coming General Assembly, no earlier than 1 month after granting status as a full member with renewal status. The General Assembly should vote to grant the member with its previous membership status if all hindrances for this are cleared, according to Article 2.3.1 for full members, or to expel the members according to Article 2.5.4. The voting shall be conducted in 2 separate votes in the same assembly. Are there any technical questions on that? Any vocab? Yes.
There's Article 2.5 versus membership. I would substitute.
So that's not for.
Because here is Article 2.5 renewal status, but there's already a 2.5.
So those numbers were just proposed by them, but it would have to be added, and it'd most likely be added after. But yeah, good question. Discussion? Yes, no? Guys. Okay. This will be discussed along with all renewal status proposals. Okay, so the next amendment is also part of the membership, and it's adding the part that a full member can be given full frozen status because of the following reasons. It has not paid membership or exchange fees for the year in question before the beginning of the World Congress. It has misused the name of IAAS. It did not submit a national report to the executive board 2 weeks before the start of the General Assembly of the World Congress. And the last one that's new is there is no national director or no exchange coordinator. Jonathan?
I think you reversed the purpose and the text because I deleted the last one.
Oh, yes.
No.
The proposed text is actually the former text that you see because it's also part of a renewal status situation.
I see. Okay. So we're missing the word renewal status in there.
No, it's just that since the renewal status is being introduced, some conditions to be granted to get the frozen status are moved to the renewal status. So I removed this condition to be frozen to put it in renewal status. Like it's not a condition to be frozen anymore; it's a condition to be renewed.
Just remove the line, not added. It's already 30 from national director.
Okay. Are there any other questions on that? Okay. Discussion? Yes, no? Yes.
So is it reversed? So that means that there is a national director, or
No,
what happened?
it's just a line.
Yeah, there was just a line that was deleted.
Okay.
Okay. So for right now, since there was some confusion, we'll just put it in the discussion bin for right now. So, okay, guys. Remember to get excited about this because this is your association, guys. So no, when you're kind of distracting the group when you're doing your individual talking. Remember. Okay. So, and I know it can be long, but this is for you guys. So for this one, it's also part of the membership. So proposed text is adding the renewal status in there with everything else. So duties of honorary individuals, candidate, renewal status, and full members. Any honorable individual, candidate, renewal status, or full member that is not fulfilling their respective duties of honorary, candidate, renewal status, or full membership, as pointed out by the bylaws, can be excluded by the General Assembly with 2/3 majority of the members present and voting. Is there any technical questions on this? Discussion? Yes or no? Okay. No? Okay, so this will not be discussed. Okay. Is that the new list? Okay. So this is also adding in the renewal status. So frozen renewal status or candidate members. Members with frozen renewal or candidate status can be expelled by the General Assembly by 2/3 of the members present and voting if it fails to clear the hindrances caused its renewal, if it fails to clear the hindrances causing its renewal, frozen status, ... Is there any confusion? Celine, did you have anything?
need to discuss this.
Okay, so this will be discussed. Okay, for this one, it's just putting the numbers on the side of it. This was by IAAS Indonesia. So terminate membership in accordance to the Articles 2.4 of the Constitution, adding number 3.1.5, decide the annual membership review, adding 3.1.6, approve of the reports of the Executive Board and the Control Board, adding 3.1.7, approval of the financial report and the Budget Association, and adding 3.1.8, appoint the program of the association. Is there any technical question on this? Discussion? Okay, this will not be discussed. Okay, so this one is adding in the one part about the renewal status. Is there anything? Yes.
Like are the numbers in the the previous slide? Are there like numbers in the rest of the like higher on the article or like why? Why the numbers and why not before or I don't know.
So in the Constitution is different. Sometimes they're just bullets, sometimes they're numbers. If they're more technical, it's usually numbered. If it's something in the bylaws, it's a lot easier to look at that certain number. Indonesia, do you have anything else to add on this? No? Okay. Discussion? Yay, nay? No? Okay. So the next one, the proposed texts, there was none here originally. Member with renewal status. Each member of the renewal status can have one national delegation at the General Assembly, but they don't have the right to vote. Discussion or any technical questions? Discussion? No? Okay. Yes, okay. Yeah, anything, guys, I'd recommend anything with voting rights in general that you discuss it. Okay, so for the executive board, so that was one of the proposals too, because we missed that in the editing of it. So proposed text, any representative of a full member is eligible as the executive board member, provided he or she is an undergraduate student, a postgraduate student, or a student that has graduated during the preceding year. Any executive board member may be reelected, and what's added is a candidate must attend to the event on which the position he/she is applying for will be voted. The candidate must have availability to attend IAAS events related to the position he/she is applying for. Are there any technical questions?
Like to the event it refers welcome.
So I think it's for the executive board, I think they were applying to events like FISO and partnership events that they should be attending for the exchange coordinator meeting, things like that.
No. It's the vocal. Is
Yeah, the first sentence means they.
Oh, I see.
vocal.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about the second one. Yes, for the first one, it's for the World Congress. Sorry for the confusion. Discussion? All right, this will be discussed. All right, so this is for the regional board. So the proposed text is the existence of the association shall be permanent until the time when the General Assembly decides to resolve it. The dissolution shall require the unanimous approval of the members present and voting at the 2 consecutive General Assemblies. Any eventual asset remaining after dissolution of the association will be aimed to the nonprofit Portugal.
Are there like some legal requirements that we would need to check if like it's okay to have Just like see if it's like about the non-profit organization.
Oh, the legality of it?
Yeah.
So we're registered as a nonprofit organization
I know.
and
It's like we really should check the legality of it, but otherwise, that's all I'm gonna add.
That everything goes to a non-profit making activity is already in the constitution.
No, it's just an anonymous like
oh, for the unanimous approval?
yeah, change.
So the General Assembly has the power to do any voting at the end. Like they can, like changing the constitution to has to be done by you guys, but you guys can change it. All right, discussion. Yes. I'm gonna strongly recommend you guys discuss that. All right, chapter 10 for the advisory board. So the advisory board is the past executive board that can help the current executive board. The proposed text is any proposal for the amendments to the Constitution shall be presented to the executive board 1 month prior to the General Assembly. Except for special situations, the period may vary based on the agreement between the executive board and the unanimous approval of control board. So does that make sense? So if there's a special situation, somebody might be able to put in a proposal earlier. Indonesia, do you have anything to add? No? Okay. Any technical questions? Okay. Discussion? Yes? Okay. All right. Guys, you gotta be, so what's gonna help you stay engaged and active if you're like raising your hands and like thinking of questions, to try to, okay, next one. All right, so this is for the bylaws. So this is in accordance with the Constitution, but it usually gets a little bit more specified and detailed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so like I said before, it's the secondary principles that govern the essential affairs of IAAS, and it's an expansion of the articles or sections of the Constitution, and it describes more in detail about procedures and steps that IAAS must follow in order to conduct our work more efficiently. And for proposals, they have to be 24 hours before the session. And they require a simple majority by national delegations present and voting that are full members. Selene.
Is it 24 hours before the GA is not?
One moment, please.
He's gonna make a motivational thing.
For right now.
It was really important. It was necessary for the association. We're not done, but you can applaud because it was a big work. Please, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So this is for the bylaws. In the regionalization chapter. So I didn't have enough time to put it in red. So I'll just give you a second to read the former text, and then I'll read aloud the proposed text. Okay, so the proposed text is a region shall have a regional director and a regional exchange coordinator, also preferably a regional finance coordinator, a regional external relations coordinator, and a regional communications coordinator. The positions shall be elected on a regional directors meeting or on a GA if there has been no regional meeting in the IAAS year prior to GA. It is not required that a regional director should come from a country or continent in that region. The regional director may come from another region in the case that candidate cannot be found in the region. Additionally, each sub-region shall have 2 contact persons. So the only continent right now that has them is Europe. So they're divided into North and South because there's quite a few countries in Europe. And so right now there's currently a sub-regional contact, but this is adding another contact person for the exchange program and for support from the regional director. Any technical questions on this? Your regional board.
It's just everyone.
Discussion? Raise your thumbs up high. Yes, okay, this will be discussed. So for the members chapter, so you can read the former text up there. And you can see where the new stuff is, but for the proposed text, any representative of a full member is eligible as the executive board member, provided that she is an undergraduate student. That is Constitution. Sorry about that. There are a lot of amendments that have to be worked through. Okay, so for this one, the proposed text is annually appointing a national director who shall be responsible for maintaining contact between the executive board, the regional board, and the national committee, and the addition is the regional board in there. Any technical question? Discussion? Okay, this will not be discussed. So this was just one line added for the executive board to evaluate long-term strategy on the particular period. Indonesia, do you have any comments on this to explain it? No? Okay. Are there any technical questions? No? You guys look confused.
It's confusing to see just one line.
So,
It's just one more.
look in the Constitution. Do you guys have your booklets right now?
Yeah.
So there's lines before that just say the executive board shall do this, this, and this. This is just another line that to add to that. So there's 7.1.1, .2, .3, .4, .5. This is just adding number 13. Yeah. Any technical questions? Any confusion still?
As Indonesia, I just have this question of to evaluate long-term strategy on a particular period. For me, it's helping to interpretation because I think you to the period that you are working on the region, but for me, is that what you wanted to say? Like for the particular
Well, we
period?
can do the next question. So if there's questions about it.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. So discussions. David? Yes. Okay. So this will be discussed for the directors. Okay. So the proposed. So we're at current text. That means proposed text. So to keep the executive board and the regional board continuously updated about the committee addresses and changes in the local directors and the local directors and exchange coordinators in her country. So it's just adding the regional board in there. Any technical questions? Discussion? Raise your hands high. No? All right, this will not be discussed. Yes? Okay, guys. So, Celine? Okay. So this is changing it from executive board to regional board. So it's to submit a national report to the regional board 3 weeks before the start of the World Congress. And I believe it was to alleviate pressure from the executive board in their work, so the regional boards would collect them instead of the executive board. Any?
Proposed by us.
Do you have a comment?
No.
Okay. Any technical question? Can you go back one, Celine? And it also says if you're confused on what chapter it is, it says it under the amendments also. All right, discussion. All right, this will not be discussed. So the proposed text for this, to keep the regional board and the national director continuously updated about the activities of her committee. So it's changing executive board to regional board again. Any technical question or comments from Europe? Okay, discussion? Put your fingers loud and proud. Okay, so this will not be discussed. There's one? Okay. Sorry guys, I can't see it. So if you have something, maybe just say yeah, too. Make sure it's none. Okay, executive board? Something? All right. Right in yellow. Okay. So the former text, communicate with committees and assist interested individuals and associations in establishing new committees of IAAS International and to promote IAAS in new countries in cooperation with the regional directors. The next part is to improve the communication and information flow within the IAAS community together with EB, RDs, NDs, and members. And the proposed text is communicate with committees and assist interested individuals and associations in establishing new committees of IAAS International and to promote IAAS to new countries in cooperation with the regional boards. And then improve the communication and information flow within the IAAS community together with EB, RBs, NDs, and members. RB, would you like to discuss it? Explain it.
Basically, we change regional director to regional board.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So do you all see that change? It goes from regional directors to regional boards. Any technical questions? Yes. Wait.
The numbers are different. Does it matter?
No, it's okay.
So the numbers, once you have the new constitution, will be updated to match where they belong in the chapter and make sure they're corresponding with it. Any other question? Discussion. Fingers loud and proud, guys. Discussion? No? No? You guys see any? All right, so this will not be discussed. Okay. Another one? Okay. So the change is that it's at the regenerated every 4 years. So the proposal is long-term strategy shall last until the year 2020. And that's in accordance with our IAAS 2020 vision. It shall be evaluated annually at the GA and regenerated every 4 years. The first strategy plan was created in 2013. Are there any technical questions or confusion? Camilo? No? Okay. Indonesia, do you have any? Okay. Alrighty. Discussion. Yes?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. It will be discussed. Okay. This is my board, guys. The best board. Okay. So the new proposed text is in relation with the members of the control board. In relation with the members, the control board shall, number 3, examine and recommend whether a member with frozen status can be granted its previous status by the General Assembly. Europe, would you like to explain at all?
I don't see where.
Is that in addition?
It's maybe something with renewal, I don't know, that you forgot to add to the proposed text. I don't Like there are a lot of articles actually with that I added this renewal.
Oh, so I found it, guys. Hey, I'm back. So the renewal status words were not in that sentence, and they were supposed to be. So it's frozen and renewal status numbers. Any technical question? Discussion? No? Okay. This will not be discussed, but remember renewal status will be discussed. What's your favorite proposal so far?
I want to change our name.
The Portuguese will be here later to ask them. Okay, so the missing part is right there. It should also say renewal status. So we decided no discussion on that one. Celine. Okay. Oh, it's back. Look at that. That's what it's supposed to be. All right, regional board. Okay, so this one's Hamadon. Do you think you could make it so it's seen? There. So you can't see the bottom line of it. You can just delete the RV Europe there. Do you want me to read the former text too, so you guys can read it, so you don't miss it? Okay, so the former, you can read the former text on there real quick, so I don't have to read it out. Unless, can somebody not read it, and I'll read it out happily. Okay. Okay, so for the proposed text, so for duties of the regional finance coordinator, so 9.4.1, to support the committees in their region with managing budgets, fundraising, and partners, financial issues, contact national committees asking how their financial situation is and where they would need help help making the budget for national and international events, providing indexes and recommendations for the funding of events and or local national committees. For example, budget templates, sponsorship documents. 9.4.2, actively search and apply for grants and sponsorship possibilities in the region together with the regional external relations coordinator. 9.4.3, inform the vice president of finance in her activity in a written form when requested every 2 months. Good job, guys. 9.4.4, to promote the development funds and review the applications of the for the development funds in that region. 9.4.5, to actively be involved in the Global Development Fund projects and to be involved in the follow-up of the different initiatives and to fundraise for the development fund in that region. 9.4.6, create a financial strategy for the region, target regional struggles related to financial issues, and create a strategy to approach them. Jonathan, did you propose this?
Yes.
Would you like to explain it?
Like there were like the old article and the new one is based on another document that was made to describe a bit the position, and I thought it was nice to have it all together and also holding the bylaws. And also like I like for example the development fund projects, because development fund is a bit like different than other global projects in the sense that since there is money involved, it needs to be a bit structured, and people in the structure like regional finance coordinator should be working on it. So it needs to be clear that, and like, for example, also the financial strategy, it was a bit like unclear what it was and stuff like that. So yeah, I just also like, it's mostly to clarify and to position a bit better because it's really new.
Are there any other questions about the writing of this? No? Okay. Discussion? Yes, this will be discussed. Celine. Okay, so there is no former text there, and so the number will be adapted to how it fits into the Constitution. But the proposed text is create a link between IAAS World, IAAS subregion and committees, and the Deans of Life Science University, either through a Dean Association or personally. So this was for the regional board. Would you like to, Celine?
I was, because in Europe we have the ICA Association, so that's an association from all the deans, and I think it should be a responsibility of the external relations, because external relations, to also talk to the deans and help the committees get a better contact with their faculties, or like maybe even get more SAP or get new committees. So that's why I think it should be added.
Okay. Any questions in response to that? Technical questions? Discussion? I would maybe recommend discussing it. Okay, let me discuss. Okay, so this is also for the regional board. The former text was to assist the executive board in matters related to the region and the members in the region whenever needed, especially in the support of possible new and candidate countries. And the current text proposed text to assist the executive board in matters related to the region and the members in the region whenever needed, especially in the support of the possible new and candidate countries, to also actively search for new committees and countries in the subregion. So the last sentence is what's new. Technical question. Discussion? Yes, in the last sentence, subregion. So that would currently just apply to Europe.
No, just put it in. We can just put the sub into brackets and it can apply to everybody. It's not specific. It's just that we didn't think, like for us, we already think in sub-regions and stuff like that. So it's a bit biased by our situation, but it's for everybody. No, it's just that we automatically think about sub-regions.
What do you mean by to also actively search for new committees? What do you mean by actively search for new committees?
There.
talk to deans and universities and try to get members in other countries interested. And that's actively searching for new committees to, or like helping new committees.
Here we put someone to join, yes. Is it like we recruit someone to join ES? No? Yes?
Yeah, so it's not saying you have to find new members, but outreaching to maybe possible member countries around you and universities.
The thing is actively searching for them instead of letting them come to you, which is passively.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Technical question. Discussion. Yes? Okay, this will be discussed. We should be really good at baseball by the end of this though, guys, from passing that around, so we should form a baseball team. Okay, that's well too. Okay, so this is also for the regional board. So the former text that's currently in the Constitution is sub-regional meetings shall consist of informal sessions. The meeting aims at sharing information and best practices in the sub-region. The proposed text is the sub-regional meeting shall consist of informal sessions. The meeting aims at sharing information and best practices in a sub-region and should contain and the meeting and its content shall be supervised by the regional board. So I think that where the dots are, that's just an extension of a sentence that doesn't matter to this right now, but the last sentence is the addition. Technical question.
And the ... is what it should contain, but we were supposed to talk about it, and I think we didn't add the full stuff there. So.
Okay, any technical questions about this? Discussion? Yes. What was that?
Sorry.
Okay. All right. So there's no text about this currently, but so the sub-regions in Europe currently have sub-regional meetings, and they put some effort into organizing them. So the proposed text is the hosts of sub-regional meetings get a €50 discount on their annual fee to IAAS World. Are there any technical questions on board to read the former text up there?